What's up, y'all? It's your girl Bella back again with another one. Happy 4th. You know, we're about to get ready to go ahead and cook. We're going to be making some smoked ribs, macaroni and cheese, and some ranch style beans. So y'all lock in, twin, and let's get into it. All right, y'all. So what we have right here is some St. Louis style spare ribs. We're going to go ahead and cut them up, get them looking like more like baby back-ish. Save your scraps and all that stuff and trim down. And then we're going to put the binder on, and then we are going to season. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so to start, we're gonna go ahead and kind of square these up and get them looking nice and pretty. You don't have to do this. It's kind of just what I like to do, and I think most people do. Then all of this here, take off some of the fat, not too much, but you do want to take some of that off so you get that binder on there. And I'm just gonna do this one, and then the other one I'm gonna do off camera. So on the back of here, there's also a little flap. You wanna take this and just get it nice and leveled out with the rest of the ribs. I mean, you can leave it on for sure, but you can also take it off and again do whatever you want with it. Now we can get to this membrane. And what you want to do is be very careful and take your knife. Spare ribs are harder. Baby backs are like so easy to take the membrane off. I don't know why, but just be careful. All right, y'all, so I went ahead and got a paper towel, and what you do once you get that membrane, it's so much easier if you use this. Just pull with the paper towel. You see that? And then you have a big piece like that. And repeat the process for your other rib or however many you're gonna be doing. All right, y'all, so I just wanted to show you a little bit of how much meat I pulled off and got for the dogs and stuff like that. And then we've got our ribs here, plenty. So, you know, buy the spare ribs, break them down and do what you need to do. All right, y'all, so let's get into the seasoning. I'm gonna start with the binder, which I'm gonna use is the yellow mustard, and then I'm gonna put a few seasonings on here. I'm gonna try to go through it as fast as I can so that y'all can see it. So we're gonna start out with the yellow mustard. Doing the top first. Gotta love it. Yes, I am almost out. Almost out. Rub it in, give it your love and affection. Cooking always comes out best when you love it. All right, so onto the seasonings. I'm gonna start off first with this sweet heat. Pat that down now. The color is gonna be nice. You can already see it's gonna be a nice little bark on there. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with this brisket spice rub. It's mainly just salt and pepper. I kind of like the taste of it, so that's what I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna use a light coating of it. And I've tried these flavors on top of each other before. They are not gonna be too spicy. So lock that in. Gorgeous. Put a little bit more of this on the bottom. A little meat at the top. All right, not too much needed, just hitting that top and them sides. Perfecto. All right, y'all, so the last thing I want to do personally is just put a little bit of smoked paprika on top because I just like the flavor and I want it to kind of look better as a presentation. A little, not too much. Make that color pop, and smoked paprika does have a taste. I don't know if everybody knows that, but yeah, pretty bark. All right, y'all, so now that we've got this done, I'm gonna go ahead and let these sit, marinate for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get the fire started. All right, so the chimney is lit. We're gonna go ahead and let this get red all the way pretty much to the top. All right, y'all, we've got our ribs off. It's been on for 3. We're gonna go ahead and wrap for maybe 1, 1.5, maybe 2. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I've laid down some aluminum foil. I've got honey, brown sugar, and butter. We're gonna go ahead and take a rib, place it down on top, both of them, okay? Just like that. Then we're gonna take a little bit more brown sugar, and then I'm gonna go back on for about an hour, hour and a half, smoking this out and wrapped up. All right, y'all, we have our ground beef browned and most of the oil and grease is up out of there. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting in our veggies and everything. So I'm gonna start with the onion. This is jalapeno, and garlic for a little bit of spice. All right. And then we've got orange and green bell pepper. All right, y'all. So to start out with the seasonings, I'm just gonna do a little bit of onion, a little bit, garlic. I love garlic. And smoked paprika, okay? I'm gonna start off with this, and then I'm going to mix it up, and then I'm gonna see how they all marry together with the sauce that the beans are gonna provide, right? I don't want it to be too salty or too overly anything. All right, so as y'all know, my favorite, W sauce, just a little. Add that extra kick, umami. Let's go. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna start with my first can of beans. Again, we're making ranch style beans and it has its own juices, right? And it tastes divine. I wanted something different other than barbecue baked beans today. Basically, that's all. And then I got another little small one. A little bit more juice coming out of that one. And then we're gonna put in a little bit of fire roasted tomatoes. If I feel like I need more, I might use the rest of the can, but we'll see. So again, these are gonna be beefy. I don't know, I like beef in my beans. I not too much of a soft sausage person or whatever, but like in my beans or any kind of other stuff, but in the beans, I've grown a liking to them for sure. So like I said earlier, we only did a little bit of seasoning, so I'm gonna marry these together, give them some time to, you know, love on each other, get the seasonings together, and then I'll come back in and see what else I might need to adjust. But I really like the flavor of the juice that the ranch style beans come with. It's just, I can't even explain it really. All right, y'all, so I've gone ahead and tasted it, and I want to add some more seasonings, and then I'm going to also add some of the Slap Your Mama in there. It's not the hot one, so we're good. Just add a little bit in here, right? And then we'll keep going from there to see how satisfied we are. And I did add the rest of that fire roasted in here, fire roasted tomato. All right, y'all, so I've got the beans tasting how I want them. I added a little bit more of the, like I said, Slap Your Mama, the onions, all that good stuff, powder, smoked paprika, and then I added a little bit of Creole seasoning into it, and it came out how I like it. It's a little spicy, just a little bit right. We're gonna go ahead and switch over to the mac and cheese, the final step, while the meats are still on the grill, okay? All right, y'all, so we're starting on our mac and cheese. What I like to do is put my heavy cream in first. I'm gonna go about half the way, right? And then leave it just to see how I wanna balance everything from there. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add these seasonings, right? So I'm gonna go in with some onion, garlic, smoked paprika, black pepper. Bear with me. Again. A little bit of Slap Your Mama. Just a little bit. Boom. I'm gonna turn the heat on this off. I'm gonna mix it around. It's already smelling good. That smoked paprika, bruh. There's no smell like it that I've come across yet. Okay, so now that I've turned off the heat, we're gonna start adding in these cheeses. I did sharp white American, New York style, Gouda, mild cheddar, which is in here. And then we're gonna do 4 ounces of all of them, but 4 ounces of cream cheese and then 4 ounces of Velveeta. Yes, Velveeta. Okay. And then we're gonna top it off with some sharp cheddar. So this is just to get our sauce doing what it needs to do. Giving what it needs to give. Let's go ahead and start adding some of our cheese. It's gonna take a little bit at a time here. Drop it in. I'm gonna save the little bit of this and top it with the sharp cheddar. All right, y'all, so now that we've got it to the point where we want it in the consistency, we're gonna go ahead and mix our noodles up with our cheese sauce and get ready to put it under the broiler. Cheese sauce going in, mix it in. First we'll pour the rest of the sauce in and we're gonna stir again. All right, y'all, so we're gonna go ahead and put our pasta into here. One layer at a time. I'm just gonna do 2 layers. One thing I can't stand about macaroni and cheese is the dishes after type shit. I'm gonna go in with the rest of that mixture we had. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of sharp cheddar. Just a tad. Y'all know the drill. Get her in there. Stop. That for me will do it. Let's get this in the oven under the broiler. Get it nice and brown, okay? All right, y'all. So what we're gonna do now is go ahead and cut up our ribs. We got them off. We did it for about 5 hours, wrapped them up. So now we're gonna go ahead and cut them and get to it. This is my second slab. I already cut the first one, but I just wanted you guys to see how it looks. All right, so this is the final result. Beautiful bark, beautiful, delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite of one just so you guys can see. Yum. Perfect bite, though. Super good. All right, y'all, so we are back and here are our finished results. We've got our ribs, sausage, our ranch style baked beans, and we've got our macaroni, cheese, and corn. Ribs. Smack them. And I'm gonna dig into this macaroni and cheese. And I'm gonna even try this. Y'all make sure y'all come back. We're gonna be eating at the table again. Episode 3 coming up. Stay tuned.